All right, you guys ready to start the game?
What happened? What had happened last time? Like, we brought that guy back to life.
In the last session, our gang escaped Camp Moonlight with the disfigured body of the missing Brujah Barry Bilson in torpor that was covered in a mysterious, carnivorous mold. They sped across the city in search of a Tremere who might be able to wake Barry from his death-like slumber, and were followed all the way to the Tremere Chantry by a mysterious ambulance whose driver eventually pulled up alongside them to ask Darby if anyone in their vehicle was in medical distress before driving off into the night. Inside the Chantry, we met a second misshapen, nameless revenant who led the gang to the Toreador DJ named Jeffrey Lamprey and the Tremere Elizabeth Blackburn. Excuse me.
Nope. Unexcused.
Just in that moment, a fly flew down my throat.
Oh, great.
Oh my god.
Let's run this whole take.
A portent of doom.
We have to start over. Let's start with the riffraff.
And the Tremere Elizabeth Blackburn, who were interrupted in a strange scene involving Elizabeth weeping tears of blood while she and Jeffrey wore headphones in the middle of a dance club light show in the Chantry's parlor. After Augustine discovered that he had the power to destroy the mold that was keeping Barry in torpor, Elizabeth successfully woke Barry. We go now back to the parlor room of the Tremere Chantry with Augustine, Excavo, Darby, Archibald, Darby's child Jade, the Tremere Elizabeth, the Toreador Jeffrey, and the newly awakened Brujah Barry. We got a lot of people in this parlor. And the bear cub? Or did you leave the bear cub in the car?
Oh no, I'm sure Augustine has that.
Parlor people!
Graham, drink some water. You're gonna have a lot of voices to do.
Augustine, do you have the bear cub in tow with you?
Yes, the bear cub has never really left my side. Like, I only put him down for the briefest of moments to go at the mold, and then picked him back up as soon as he was fine.
So if the bear cub counts, and we're not counting the revenants who are scurrying around the Chantry, it's 9 characters in this room.
You have to be 5 of those people? Sounds fun.
Simultaneously.
Sure. Barry sits up and he looks around and he starts getting his bearings and
Barry getting his bearings.
Barry.
ha! And he starts visibly relaxing a little bit. The panic that he initially woke up with starts to fade. He says to you, "So you guys are telling me I was in torpor in the well, and you folks pulled me out, and now this guy," and he points to Archibald, "this guy is Prince. What happened to Prince Delacroix?"
I look behind me at and kind of notice that Jade is still there, right?
She is still there.
All right. Well, he had to leave to go to the Middle East, but there was a terrible accident in transit. But anyway, we're here now.
And Jade looks down at the floor and she nods solemnly. And Elizabeth looks over at Archibald and she looks a little confused, but she doesn't say anything. Barry says, Well, thank you. First off, Mr. Prince, how'd you know I was in the well to pull me out?
Well, you'd have Excavo to thank for that.
Darby gives her like a creeped out sidelong look. Like, really doesn't like how that went down. Like,
So I just knew.
Who does Darby look at?
Excavo. Because it was her vision that led us to the well, right? And I think Darby's a little weirded out by her insane magic that led that to happen.
I just knew. I don't feel like it was magic. I was just standing there with everyone else, and then
yeah, everyone was doing a puke dance
something popped
thing,
into
and then
my
all
head,
of a sudden
it led me to a well, and I just felt like I needed to
She
find
walked
out
there
what that
straight as
meant.
an arrow, out of nowhere, and then we found you. It was not random. It was not casual.
I just asked where the well was, and there you were.
She might have been in on it.
I just had to get you out, so grabbed you, and someone else pulled us out, and
To be
you
fair,
have Augustine, and you have Lady Elizabeth to thank for being restored.
Oh,
I can't explain why I saw what I saw.
could we ask, like, speaking of that, how did you get in the well?
Blake, could you move your microphone a little closer to your
The
mouth?
back of your throat.
Just huh?
How's that?
Oh my god,
Buttery
that's so
smooth.
good.
Oh my god.
That's hot.
Buttery smooth.
Okay.
Sweet Jesus. Maybe move it a little farther back. I don't know. Okay.
Too hot.
No, I think it's perfect.
Like.
Too hot for TV.
You're gonna fucking wear our AC over here, man.
Barry stands up and he says, okay, that's gonna be a bit of a story. I feel like I need to know who I'm talking to here. So how about we start with names and clans? This lady, I'm real sorry if this is a wrong guess, but I'm getting a Malkavian vibe. Zach, tell me if I'm wrong.
Darby's getting
It is
big
correct.
nod.
You
Like,
sense-
yeah.
It is correct. You sense the best. My name is Excavo.
Uh-huh.
As he asks everyone what their names and clans are, he walks over and he sits down on one of the two long couches in the middle of the parlor that are facing each other, with a long table between them that he had previously been lying on top of. And he starts removing items from his belt and dropping them on the table. He pulls out a .38 special revolver from an appendix carry waistband holster, a large hunting knife from a sheath on his belt, and two wooden stakes from his back pocket, and he drops them.
And he is just generally unfazed by not having his other arm. He's like pulling these things out, just like
One-handed.
with the one hand he's always had, the only one, and he just completely unfazed.
Yep. In
So
fact,
that's-
with each item that he pulls out, he visibly relaxes a little more, like each of these items was uncomfortably digging into his waist. And once all of them are off, he collapses into the couch with a sigh, and he kicks his feet up on the table and looks at each of you.
So as Darby is introducing himself, he is of course confused about what it means to be a sheriff, and I think introduces himself as Sheriff Darby and does kind of a sheriff walk over to Barry, and he pulls out like kind of an old Western looking style gun, which is hilarious, which is why I laughed, because I think Darby in this frame of mind would pick it up and try to do some twirling as he's introducing himself to look cool. So that's how I'm playing it.
Darby
That's
picks
a cool
up
The
Barry's gun from
Yep.
the table and starts
tries to
spinning it
twirl
around.
it and introduces himself as the sheriff. So like tries to look the part of a sheriff as the sheriff, because he thinks that is what he is supposed to do. So this is not ironic. This is yep. No, I'm 100% serious. He believes that this is how the sheriff is supposed to act, and so he is acting like John Wayne, essentially.
I think that this
I
calls
see
for
this.
a dexterity plus firearms roll to see
Okay.
how impressive your gun handling is.
No matter how impressive it is, I'm going to see it and be like, no, what are you doing?
You're contesting me on this?
Yes, because I think you could potentially fail
You
at
could
this.
hurt somebody.
Well, no.
Which is-
I'm talking to Excavo. Like, is this a contested roll against Excavo? She's saying she's trying to stop me.
Okay.
I am not
Yeah,
going to
no,
be
we're not
convinced.
doing
Like,
that.
if you're gonna like try to stop me, then I will roll opposed to however you're trying to stop me.
Oh,
I'm just going to like say don't stop. I don't want to get close because I don't want to get hurt. So
Okay, so as a social role, I think... Oh, my
I'm
wife is
just
calling me.
freaking out.
I need to text my wife. I'm sorry.
sure. We can pause. And if you do this, I mistakenly thought that Darby didn't have points in firearms. You have 3 and a specialization in pistols.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of good at this.
You will have 6 a dice pool of 6, and you will be able to use a specialization. So 10s will count as 2 successes. If Excavo lets you play with his gun.
I think she's using social skills to stop me, and like we're just role playing.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Thing,
I
right?
would not try to attack him. I am small.
Excavo does
I am-
have a point of dominate, which
I
I think is
Okay.
the only way that
I
you
do.
can force Darby to not pick up the gun against
I would
his
not.
will.
I would
I
not
am
waste
not-
it
I
on
am
something
not
like
looking
this
at
unless
her,
I
though,
felt
right?
it was
Don't we
necessary.
need eye contact? Like I am definitely looking at this other guy, trying to impress him with this gun. I am not sure Excava would be able to dominate me.
I know that I wouldn't, so I don't try, but I do yell.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I
What do you
ignore.
yell? I'm very curious what Excavo yells at Darby.
What are you? Qu'est-ce qui passe? What are you doing?
I'm the sheriff. Just hang on a sec. All right. So 6.
I literally
Does
translated
celerity
what
help
I
me
was
on
yelling.
this?
Celerity adds to your dexterity.
All right. So I'm gonna roll 7. Oh yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 successes, and then 3 5s.
So, wow. So that is a lot of successes. This gun has been in a well and also in a holster, so it's packed full of water. It's has retained water. All the rounds in it have been fired, so it has empty rounds in it that themselves are full of gross well water. When you pick it up and you spin it, all that water goes flying out, but because you spin it so perfectly, it goes flying out in this really cool, like John Woo, perfect cinematography, cool looking arc along the side of your head, just framing you like you're in an action movie poster, sort of. Like it would freeze frame right there, and then the movie title would be like right below your face, like Darby, badass sheriff. So it works out really well for you.
And I just like wink at him, and I'm like, I'm Darby, I'm the sheriff, and that's it. Like I play it super cool. Like that was just how I say hello. I set his gun back down, and that's it.
That was pretty much the perfect number of successes and exactly how it would have needed to go for Barry to not get pissed off about someone walking up and grabbing his gun.
I
Barry's,
basically was trying to convey competence, but also, bravado and just total control of the situation. And, hopefully that's how Barry interpreted it.
well, that was incredible. It very easily could have gone way wrong, and
Yeah.
it didn't at all.
I actually, given the risk, I may have made a plea for Daredevil dice, because this was perhaps a pretty stupid thing to do. But yeah, cool. I'm glad it worked out.
I think Daredevil is really only supposed to come into play when it's highly likely that you would get really hurt. And
you know that going in, and I don't think Darby did.
I don't think it can come up in like social. I don't think it's supposed to come up in social situations. So Barry looks confused, and then there's a bit of a smirk that comes over his face. He says, "Huh. Well, I'm glad this prince appointed a sheriff." Looks like we got a good one.
And I spit.
Our last prince, we had a sheriff, but his sheriff, his name was Bagger. He took off, and he took all of his deputies over some disagreement that Bagger had with Delacroix that we weren't even privy to. We don't know what, there's some argument or something he had with the prince. But
we've heard some. We have some context.
I was going to suggest that maybe if y'all didn't have a sheriff, that I felt since Bagger was gone, I've kind of been acting as the de facto sheriff, but
So Darby just winks at him again.
Looks
Sheriff
like the city's
Darby.
in good hands. So who else we got around here?
This is Augustine. He is the one who got rid of there is a fungus.
Plant guy, chick magnet.
And he got rid of that. You can thank him for that.
Please, friend, forgive the smell. I have many samples in my pants, and this small and otherwise moist bear cub that...
Oh yes, and this is a bear cub. There is a small bear in here.
His name is Patty.
Like Paddington. Paddington bear.
We.
Barry says, I think we gotta slow down. I have like 4 questions already.
Doors.
And I have at least 3 answers for you, my good man. What questions have you?
Why was a fungus brought up when you were introducing yourself to me?
You fungus among us.
Is this
Good
is
sir.
this your
Your
Please.
condition upon being discovered at the bottom of the well, you were engulfed in a moist green and blue fungi, which I have deduced generally is not
Barry
living.
turns to the rest of you. Is one of you perhaps a translator for this one?
I think
There is a
maybe,
fungus on you. There was literally a fungus on you, on your body, on your face.
Truth.
And when we pulled you out,
Oh.
we could not even recognize your face.
Oh.
I mean, not to shock you. I know that you are now, you are better, but that's what we were working with. Unfortunately.
Okay. I might be able to fill in some of those gaps for you. I
Yeah,
understand.
can you tell us how you got down there and where the fungus is from?
Mr. First, Archibald, Mr.
Yes.
Prince.
Alvins.
Which Archibald Alvin?
Archibald Alvins.
Prince
Fellow-
Alvins.
Fellow Brujah, by the way, and then I do the secret handshake.
Oh no shit.
Secret
Barry
handshake.
extends a fist to Archibald for a fist bump without making eye contact, which is the coolest way to do it.
Yep, so we got the whole thing going on, and
Do they need to make a roll for that, or what? Like, it just works? Like, Archibald is the whitest white guy, and all of a sudden he's
Everyone's
just like...
saying I have Malkavian magic. That's Brujah magic.
All right, yeah, that's fine.
And Barry says, Sheriff Darby, Brujah too?
so surprisingly, this guy's a Ventru. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I'm a Ventru, but don't tell anybody.
Don't judge a book by its cover, right?
I will take your word for it. Well, okay. Well, I'm not usually one for stories, and I don't know what you already know and what you don't. So how about this? I'll just do the bullet points, and you tell me when you need more info. Okay. So here in town, we got a gangrel named River Erickson, and
Met her, love her.
he used to be part of a hippie cult that's off in the woods to the southeast.
Brother Jeremiah's Camp Moonlight.
No, you mean Brother Jeremiah.
That is what I meant.
So you've been there.
Yeah.
That's where we found
were
you.
fungused
That's
up
where
as
we
well.
found you. Yes, we were there. You were in the well there.
They was all fungus.
That would make sense.
If you're friendly with those folks, you might want to apologize to him at some point. I think your corpse in the well got him a bit distressed in the tummy region.
Yeah, apparently you were in their water supply.
It was, of course, not my intention to.
Did you dump yourself in that well?
course.
I did. I was in the well on purpose. I didn't intend to stay in there
Just I deduced.
I jumped in the well because I didn't have any better options at the time. But I'll start at the beginning. Okay, so a body was found in Shedtown. That's the neighborhood on the south side where River lives, and it's just his hunting grounds. The body had all of its blood gone. Now, the newspapers didn't mention that, but there's an independent journalist with his own website here in town that I keep an eye on, and he knew about the blood thing somehow. So one of the Tremere here, he took care of it. Must have went into the coroner's office and did something to take care of the evidence. But then nobody was looking for River. It was obviously him, but our sheriff left town. So I went off to find River on my own. I'd met the dude a couple times before. I never had no problem with him. I hoped I wouldn't have to kill him. I hoped I could just stake him and bring him back to Delacroix, so maybe the dude could just be locked up for a while or something, or we could ask him what his fucking deal was. I don't want to kill anybody, but I do know that we're all in deep shit if River's gone crazy and he's starting to break the masquerade. And look, since River has started being weird, 5 other people have gone missing from Shedtown. They're missing person posters up and everything.
As soon as you start mentioning breaking the masquerade, I just start glancing side-eyed at Augustine, just definitely hinting.
I am completely oblivious to your side. I am just like infatuated with like Bear Cub petting him and giving him scruffs behind the ears and just completely not even paying attention to you.
Perfect.
So I went to River's place, but he wasn't home. His dog wasn't even barking, so I was pretty sure he wasn't there hiding from me or nothing. I didn't bother breaking into his house, but I figured that was still an option for later if I couldn't find him anywhere else. I went through Shedtown for hours, and I didn't find him. Then I started looking around the hippie camp and the forest all around it because that was the only other place where I knew he hung around. So I was dicking around in the forest for a long time, and I wasn't getting nowhere. Then after I spent a while following the river up northways, because I figured, the river is kind of a natural clearing. Follow the river, you could see further. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm not a tracker. I'm just, a guy looking around for a crazy dude. I got this idea to start sniffing around to see if I could smell where he was. I figured maybe it was a dumb idea, but I thought maybe it could work because I've never tracked anyone by scent, but I figured I ain't got no better idea. Maybe I could smell better now that I'm a vampire. I mean, I've only been a vampire for a little while, so I thought I could try it. Anyway, I started picking up on a weird smell, kind of like mildew mixed with like a dead body. Anyway, I started following it, and something huge jumped on me that must have been hiding in the trees, and it puts me flat on my ass. And at first I was afraid that I'd spooked Mama. Y'all know Mama, right? And Elizabeth nods.
Who's Mama?
Oh, Mama's what everybody calls this big, friendly black bear that lives around these parts. Everybody knows her.
Friendly?
Jeffrey says, yeah, she's basically the mascot of the new Cammack Woods. Hikers leave treats for her. Elizabeth says, yeah, you can even get Mama t-shirts in the visitor center.
Well, I got bad news about your fungus. It has bad effects on animals as well, and Mama was enraged.
Absolutely plugs the baby cub's ears.
Barry
I
says,
think it was because we had the baby cub.
I had to
So
put her
Uh,
down.
Darby-
I had to put her down.
I mean, Darby, that could be any huge black bear. I mean, there can't just be one in
Was
the
there
whole
just one? Really?
forest.
I mean, she obviously had to be with at least a he to have a...
I mean, we
Barry
can-
starts to look very concerned.
That was the one. I know.
How do you know? Did it, like, have a name tag?
It was her.
Barry says, what happened?
Okay, I'm sorry for Darby killing Mama, apparently.
First off, I was just defending all of you idiots. Secondly,
I was inside. I was just trying
What
to
happened
let
to
you come
Mama?
out.
What happened to Mama?
Talk to him. I
She was trying to maul me to death, and I mauled her right on back.
Sheriff
So-
Darby, she's friendly to anyone, unless if you
This
would like try to punch her or something.
Unless
What happened
she's
to Mama?
under the influence of fungus from the water supply.
What
You ever think?
is she okay?
No, she is not. She is dead. She's in pieces. She's in
Darby!
ribbons.
Darby,
You have to put it
Darby.
so bluntly.
Darby,
These people
she-
love her.
She had her own parade float, Darby.
Well, I didn't do anything to that.
Darby, the mayor gave her the key to the city, Darby.
Yeah. Well, I think that's also still intact.
Darby, they were building a bear sanctuary for her in the zoo for her to live in when she recovered from her heart surgery.
Well, there's going to be a lot more room
Heart
there for
surgery?
another lucky bear.
They said she needed the heart surgery because she loved us all too hard, Darby.
Yeah, well, I think that might have fueled her rage.
I definitely am laughing like this.
That might have fueled her rage. I think her heart was very large.
Darby, stop. Darby,
He
you
sits
gotta
up.
Stop.
Barry sits up and he grabs Darby by whatever is close to a lapel that he's wearing.
Yeah, Darby's wearing a jacket, sure.
And he comes in really close and he says, You listen to me.
Whoa.
You listen to me, Sheriff Darby. You need to make sure nobody knows what happens. Nobody knows that.
I mean, there were so many people watching.
Those people thanked me. That bear was gonna kill everybody.
The hippies?
The hippies. Yes, the hippies.
Yeah.
They don't know. They live in an isolated little camp. They don't know how important she is to the community. You need to make sure nobody knows that Mama's dead. She's a hero to this community.
Jesus, chill. And I'm going to use first level dominate. I think this is it. I am going to dominate him with the word chill. All right, I want this guy to chill. I don't know what that's going to do. I don't think that's a very effective,
so
like,
bad.
metagame
We are
word
so
to
sorry.
choose, but this has been the
We are
most
so
agitated I've been. So, yeah, I'm going to dominate this guy.
Sweet désolé.
Hey, man, chill.
I gotta look up what he defends with. I think he defends with his willpower. You roll manipulation plus intimidation, and the difficulty is the target's current willpower points.
Got it.
So your difficulty is 4.
Excellent. I get to roll 4 dice.
Oh, he doesn't. There is no defense roll. So
But he just sets the difficulty. Like, that's his
Yes.
way of
Yeah,
defending.
that's how it works.
Right. All right. Oh, excellent.
Two successes.
I got three successes.
So he slowly sinks back into the couch, and he goes, "You need to make sure no one knows that Mama has died, because with her, the soul of this city will die too."
I kind of cut in. I'm just like, I wouldn't even trust Darby. He was frenzied at the time. I don't think it was even Mama. Mama sounds like a very nice bear.
I was very
according
hurt
to
when you
you.
told him I was frenzied. Like, oh, come on, dude. I just met this. Damn.
It's a whole thing. The hippies threw up on him. Don't worry about it. I'm kind of saying it like privately to him, though.
I gently intervene and now that we've covered Mama's demise,
We've got a cute new bear too.
I uncork his ears and
Perry turns to the
It's
bear
Mama.
cub and goes,
It's Mama
"Is that-
reborn.
Is that Mama's cub?
well, now it's my cub, my friend.
This is
Oh,
Mama's
Jesus.
cub. Which I guess Augustine is Mama now.
This is little mama.
He goes, don't
Lil
you
Mama.
say that. Don't you say that.
He did save your life. He's
blasphemes.
He's kind of a hero of the city in a way.
That blasphemes Mama's memory.
Listen, look, this is our first night in town. This bear was attacking everybody. How the hell were we supposed to know this was like a cultural icon? It's a giant fucking bear, bro.
Mama hurt someone?
She was charging.
Who
I'm
did
pretty
Mama
sure.
hurt?
I don't know. She was aggro.
Him. She was after him.
So your dominate command for him to chill has actually helped settle him down and helped him get back onto the story that he was telling. And he resumes his story. So there I was, in the woods, and something bigger than a dude jumped out of a tree and slammed me down to the ground. But this sumbitch weren't no bear. It had this gross shit all over it. This algae, filth, and muck. I don't know what to call it. It looked like it was wearing a moldy. You know what a ghillie suit is?
Oui.
Like what a hunter or a sniper would wear.
We're all about ghillie suits. We're big hunters.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. Swamp Thing, like from the comics.
Now
I've
Darby
seen
gets
the-
it. Like, this is the first time Darby looks like he understands what he's
Oh,
saying.
yes, the
Like,
John
yeah,
Constantine
yeah.
crossover with Batman, yes.
Immediately, one of the revenants pops into the
I was
head.
going to say.
What are you guys talking about?
Yeah, we cannot say his name.
Oh, damn it.
You hear loud, thundering footsteps and the clattering of furniture being bumped around. What? You guys? Did I hear something?
No.
The short revenant in the doorway. Yes, I believe they're talking about Batman.
No, he said Iron Man, go back.
Barry says, "What's that thing all about?"
Just some
Oh,
Tremere
those
bullshit. God damn.
Those are some revenants that the Tremere made. Yeah.
They
One of them
seem
thinks he's Batman.
they seem excitable about.
Yeah, you cannot say
They love
the
DC and
B-man.
referring to
word.
Marvel comics is the only way to balance them out, bring him down to a reasonable level.
They seem excitable about Batman. Anyway, so this thing jumped out of the tree. The revenant scurries off. This thing jumped out of a tree and slammed me down to the ground. And
You said you were a Brujah?
yeah.
Okay, sorry, just checking.
Anyway, it's,
Okay.
it's skin.
I give Darby like a pretty dirty look.
What? You wouldn't have done... Oh, sorry, just saying.
The story is more important.
So Swamp Thing is the best analogy thing I can come up with. Its skin kind of looked like that, all green and gross and slimy. It had a huge mouth with fucked up teeth. It didn't have any eyes. No eyes. It didn't have no nose. Didn't have any ears. Just a big, smooth head like a frog. It had these big, some-bitchin' ape hands. And it stood on me and it held me down and it just started whooping the shit out of me. I emptied the whole cylinder of my 38 right into its face, and that didn't seem to do nothing to it. Hell, it bit my whole arm clean off. And then it did something real weird. It grabbed my face and it got real close and it hissed at me like a cat. But this dust came out of its mouth and it got all over me and it started burning my skin. And when I breathed it in, it made me feel weird. It made me feel scared, like something was chasing me. So since it was holding my face down and his hand was right there, I bit off its finger and that pissed it right off. It picked me up and it threw me real hard. I think it was aiming for a tree, but it missed the tree and it just threw me real far into the woods. So I took the opportunity, and I'm not proud of it, but I hid, just to kind of get my wits about me, and it seemed like it was hunting around for me, and it couldn't find me, and I was at death's door, and the sun was about to come up, so I knew I was beat, so I just followed the lights of the hippie camp, and I hopped the fence, and I jumped in the well. I didn't want any of them seeing me like this with, my arm torn off and asking questions. I figured I'd be able to crawl out of the well the next night and just patch myself up, but whatever that thing breathed all over me must have hurt me worse than I thought and made me take the long nap because, obviously I didn't wake up on my own. So, obviously we got to call in the cavalry and kill this thing ASAP. So, what's the plan, boss?
Who's the cavalry?
Well, I can call in some Brujah, probably.
Wait, there are more Brujah here.
Not here, no.
Wait, ain't we supposed to not talk to anybody from outside of town?
Why not?
Yeah, there's some news you have to hear, too.
From the
You see,
Camarilla.
the reason we're here, instead of the old prince, has little to do with some of the Camarilla politics.
I was going to
Archon
ask,
Glass?
you're all new faces. I don't know any of you.
Are you aware of Archon Glass?
Archon, aren't those like higher up? Like,
Very.
no, I don't know any Archons, no.
He's like a senior manager type of dude for sure.
We were only brought here a few nights ago. And as a fellow Brujah, I feel like we could tell you. None of us had any say in it. We were forced here and told that one of us would be the new prince, that we would have to figure out everything going on in this town and fix some of the things that maybe Delacroix lacked in.
Well, there's a lot of that.
Yeah, I heard
Right.
it got worse over the last year.
So there's some strange things happening, and I didn't expect Swamp Thing to top the list.
Well, it was this was mentioned. There was something that drove some of who was ruling things before away. We were not given any sort of description, but this would make sense. Although it did say that it was from underground.
Well, I mean, a swamp thing and a sewer thing seem like they could be interchangeable, right?
Mr. Barry.
Sewer thing sounds less copyrighted, honestly. Go with that.
I mean, if
You
that's
could
our
be
concern.
forgiven for having a cloudy memory, but to be clear, the way you describe it, this thing, so to speak, lacked any discerning figures of the noggin, such as a mouth, eyes, or ears.
Oh no,
otherwise.
it had a mouth.
Is-
It had
It
a
bit
mouth
off his arm, so
and
I hope it had a
quote,
mouth.
fucked up teeth. Fucked up.
Barry waves his stump around.
I can't say that very well. There was a mouth. That's where the dust came out.
So there was a mouth. Okay.
Anyway, the Archon kind of very explicitly said we're not allowed to leave or have contact with anyone outside of this town, so we're a little bit stuck with it now.
They
Well,
never
so-
said.
Did he say Barry couldn't talk to his friends, too?
That's exactly what I was just saying. They
Barry
didn't
says-
say you couldn't do it, Barry.
Yeah, that sounds stupid. Yeah, we need to call in help because this thing doesn't seem like the type to respect the masquerade. This thing gets out into public and, yeah, it's going to be a problem. And
It's
even if this
terrifying.
thing I mean, this thing seems like a top priority. Gotta kill it. I mean, all of us together might be enough.
Sounds
but it
dangerous.
seems
Much like a bear could be in certain circumstances.
I mean, I'm not in charge here. I'm also, I guess I'm not a battle tactician by any means. But I would think that
That's where I come in.
if anyone asked me for my opinion, I would say this is the kind of situation where you would use all your resources, pull out all the stops, get everybody together, and make sure something like this is dead. So call in all your friends. I don't know what this Archon's deal is, but I'm about to pull out my cell phone and call a couple of my buddies, see if they, because I know some Brujah are definitely up for a monster fight. I don't think Brujah are going to say no to that.
So,
I mean,
if
that-
your
that
friends
is
on the other
on-
side of your phone thing do pick up, where are you going to tell them to look? Do you have any means or idea of how to track this thing?
Augustin.
It can jump from branch to branch in trees.
Yeah, nimbly bimbly, you might even say.
I saw this.
Very.
I saw this when I saw the well.
Well, where would we look? Well, these are my thoughts. We can try to retrace my steps, going from
Starts at the bottom of the well.
we can go to the hippie camp and we could just go through the woods and start sniffing around. I don't know a lot about Gangrel, but I've heard that they can shapeshift into other creatures. I don't know how far-fetched it is that maybe this thing is River. And if that's the case, then it might be worth going back to Shedtown and looking in River's house again. Or maybe, I don't know. But
I've got an idea. You know, I think that if this thing is underground, and if we think our swamp thing's a sewer thing, then I think we know where we can find a little footage of it so we can study up. And, you know, like I said, we can't call any of our friends, but if you happen to, and we didn't know about it, it sure would be a shame if, unbeknownst to us, you brought them right over to Delacroix Manor. Wink, wink.
Yeah, we were threatened with death and killing if we broke any of the rules. So we
Again,
are not responsible for
Delacroix
what
Manor. Wink, wink. We don't know about it.
I'm not following. You want me to...
do whatever you're going to do. We just don't want or need to know about it.
Oh, the Brujah.
Definitely not
Call your
at...
friends. Don't tell anyone you called them, just in case it comes back on you, man. We're just trying to look out in case the wrath of this Archon is coming down indiscriminate like.
It would be super weird if it happened to end up that you all ended up and told them to meet at Delacroix Manor. Speaking of which, what's your number?
He gives everybody his phone number. He starts reaching into his pocket, and the four of you start feeling at the same time. You start feeling a very strange and unpleasant feeling in each of your hands. In fact, in your fingertips, you start feeling a burning, uncomfortable feeling in your fingertips. He said, well, I don't think there's really any time to waste. I need to start calling these guys because they need to get on the road now because they're scattered around the Midwest. I mean, these are people who used to be...
Is anyone else feeling this?
You start feeling this burning feeling emanating from your fingertips going up your arm, sort of like there are... like your tendons going from whichever of the hand that you use to sign the blood contract. Those tendons are being lit on fire. And there's like a fuse.
Barry, go ahead and call that one off.
Barry is still pulling out his cell phone. He says, listen, this thing could be on its way. This thing could be on its way to get us now. He's still pulling out his cell phone, and your hand is starting to burn.
I'm gonna need you to stop that.
Pulling out his cell phone, he says,
I straight up
dominating again.
grabbed
Can I
it.
get his eye contact? I'm gonna dominate him to stop again.
and as he
grabbed it
pulls
from
his cell phone out, you see the screen is black, and there's water dripping out of the phone, and there are little air bubbles coming up underneath the screen.
I knew the phone would be wet.
And immediately, all of your hands start feeling normal.
Oh, whoa.
And Barry shakes his phone, and water starts just pouring out of his phone. He's like, oh, shit.
Wet. I didn't know how good of a phone he had.
So I got to tell you, boss, I think those rules apply to everybody in town, and don't mess with them.
But that when we were privy, what if we just weren't privy?
It sounds like that kind of technicality ain't gonna work. I'm not trying to risk my life on this.
According to my hands that are on fire,
That's
that's definitely like not a good loophole.
So I'll tell you what, I'm telling you definitively, boss, do not call anyone outside of town. I'm telling you, do not. I don't want to know about it. I'm not suggesting that you ever do it. Do not ever do it. You might kill every one of us. These Archons are not fucking around, Chief.
Darby is telling Barry that?
Yeah.
Jeffrey speaks up, and he says, hey, guys, if you don't mind, I think I might also know where you might be able to find this creature.
Where?
You don't say. Well, speak up.
Well, I think I might have run into it twice in the same place. So,
like with your car?
No, that would be a little convenient. Because then maybe I would have killed it. That would be pretty cool. As everyone...
How do you just like bump into a swamp thing?
Well, no. I think I saw. Well,
just like at the Monsters Anonymous meeting, y'all just hang out. Like what?
No, in the prospector camp, which is where I feed. Now, I haven't told anyone about this but Prince Delacroix, but there was something big up in the trees watching me and following me a couple times that I went up to the prospector camp to feed. I was in the woods at night, so I couldn't see anything but just a shape, but it was something big that was moving between the trees. And I felt like it was stalking me like a predator, so I got out of there. If it's a kindred, it might feed from the prospectors while they're sleeping like I do. It's only a couple times that I definitely saw it, but lots of times I felt like I heard or saw it in the distance in those woods in the prospector camp. I always kept my distance and got out of there if it seemed to be moving closer to me.
I'm sorry, can I ask like a very big question? Stop you right there. There's a prospector camp here? As
yes.
in like
panning for
like
gold?
1800s panning for gold?
Like 49ers?
Yeah.
Is it... What year is it?
Right now?
Right, yeah, what year is it right now?
Why, this is present day.
In the 2020. Okay.
Where's your mask?
Great. Okay, that's my only question.
Evergreen content.
Thought we had a time loop situation. I just want to make sure.
Oh, I can take you by there sometime. The prospector camp is part of the woods just east of Delacroix Manor. There's a couple dozen. Well,
is there like a rich vein of gold?
Oh, as far as I'm aware, there's no gold, but there's a couple
still got
dozen.
The prospectors though.
There's a couple dozen men there that live in a camp that have convinced themselves that there's gold, and they have tents and they live there like it's the 1850s, and they're all working on some pretty righteous beards.
Do they have horses?
I have never seen any horses there. They have cars.
Well, I mean, Barry said to bring in the cavalry, and I thought that would...
Just a bunch of grown-ups getting together and playing pretend? That's kind of embarrassing, don't you think?
As far as I can tell, it's made up entirely of divorced older men and widowers going through midlife crises.
Checks out.
But it's been a good place for me to feed because no one there knows me as a performer. So if I get caught attacking someone, it's not going to mess up my career. It's pretty socially isolated from like downtown and the Club Wonderland scene. So, it's where I've staked out as my hunting grounds.
Staked out. That's a double because of vampires and prospectors.
And
I see what you did there.
It's like a steakhouse.
That was so obvious, even Darby got it.
I like this guy. So
French, that was a brulee.
So I think it can't just be a coincidence. I've seen something that seems to match Barry's description of a big scary thing.
Well, now let me ask you this. I got a very important question for both of you. If this thing doesn't have a face, where are you supposed to punch it?
It has a mouth?
I guess, yeah, and try in the mouth. If you break out its teeth, it can't bite you.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of risk there. Look at Barry's not arm.
Barry looks at his stump and goes,
Yeah, how do we block ourselves from the fungus? Hey, plant guy, what do you got for us on this one? Get your head in the game, plant guy. We got this is your time to shine. Were you sniffing the fungus just now? Jesus.
I'm still at a deficit of information, friend. I need to know what this dust is that is propagating.
Looks like you're investigating some dust.
How many syllables did you just put in the word deficit? Sound like you said deficit it.
Probably at least 3.
The short revenant waddles into the room abruptly. Did I hear that you witnessed a shadowy figure in the night leaping from building to building?
Oh no, we can't even describe the beast.
And his eyes widen with excitement.
We cannot even do that.
And Jeffrey says, "No."
Nah, he had parents though for sure. He definitely had parents.
It was leaping from
He did not
tree
have
to tree.
eyes or ears.
Yeah, but confirmed parents. So I think nothing to get too excited about. There's he wasn't an orphan at all, and no utility belt either. So I think it's a easy rule out on this one.
Jeffrey corrects the Revenant. No, it was leaping from tree to tree. And the Revenant says, trees are nature's buildings. Gentlemen's and lady equivalents, if you would clitorectomy to interrupt a moment, I think what we have here is equally obvious. Batman is in New Cammack.
I'd love to see you go over and shake his hand.
You hear the sound of furniture being knocked over somewhere else in the house and glass breaking. With long, thundering steps, the tall Revenant comes bounding through the house and sticks her head in the room and says, "What the fuck did you just say?"
Darby is looking at Elizabeth and is just like, "What are you just going to let these clowns continue to run amok? Like, we're trying to have a civilized discussion in here, and you're just like letting this display of idiots." So yeah, I'm not confronting her. I'm just looking at her like, "What are you doing here?"
Elizabeth says, "Can the two of you please control yourselves?" And the tall Revenant says, "But he's my favorite guy!" Barry says, "Can anyone please care to explain what these things are and why we're still talking about fucking Batman?"
I told you it's Tremere bullshit.
You're not allowed to say it.
Upon hearing that last phrase, the tall Revenant starts visibly drooling as she silently mouths the words, "fucking Batman."
Okay, did she kind of get them to leave a little bit?
The tall... They're almost hyperventilating. The tall Revenant says, "When we catch him, will we all get a turn with him?"
God.
What kind of turn are you talking about?
The short revenant says, "May you please bring Batman here to make autographs upon my posters?"
You guys got to be kidding me.
Okay, I I see Darby's really mad, so I kind of put a hand on his shoulder and I kind of gesture for everybody to calm down a little bit.
You should all dress like Batman to make him more comfortable, like what they do when they jack off pandas at the zoo.
We live in a society. Is this how Tremere? Are you guys? Is it just like this in your house all the time?
I calmly approach both of the revenants.
You can lure him out by committing crimes and leaving clues as to your whereabouts.
Because he's like, was Augustine just raised in a place like this? Like, no wonder he's so fucked up.
With my
Poison all the
cup.
caviar in the city and wait for Bruce to be checked into the hospital.
With my non-bear cub clutching arm, I kind of gently caress the hairline of the short revenant and
Jesus Christ.
little friend, when the time comes to accost and capture Batman, we will need all hands on deck. Can we count on
I'll put my hands on that, all right.
Can we count on your help and support in our time of need? And I kind of glancingly extend the question with my eyes. To
I will be your human cummerbund.
Human's a bit of a stretch.
That's all we need to know. Welcome to Operation Batman, my friend.
We need you to stay here, stop talking about him, and be quiet.
He hugs you with obvious potence.
Now, I will warn you, my friend. The more his name is spoken, it's like a repellent. We cannot ward him away in such a way if we intend to capture him. So, whilst our planning ensues, I implore you, please, exercise the utmost discretion in your speaking of this matter. You can find creative ways around referring to such a target. But in the meantime, when we are ready for your assistance, we will beckon for you, and it will be your moment to shine for Batman.
We will call you by name.
I actually...
We don't have those!
You can make up your own. That's what's so great.
I picked
Don't
Batman.
say it. Don't say it. Oh, ho, ho.
Hey, you two Batmans over here. You know how to really capture a Batman. Do you guys want to help us a lot? Because you don't even need to wait. You can go do a special project for us right now. The way you lure out a Batman, that's with a bat signal. Why don't you go find some flashlights around here? You go in the backyard, you guys go make a bat signal.
They're gone. They disappear. They
Okay.
knock over what sounds like
I imagine galloping.
every chair on the way to
Like-
whatever their destination was.
Okay, I turn around to everybody and I say, guys, we do, to be fair, need to be planned for any contingency. Planning is key here. So we shouldn't rule out the possibility that we are looking for, you know.
Don't even say it.
Well, here's the thing.
I whisper very quietly, Batman.
I got a sense there's something oddly right about those two weird little fuckers. So, yeah,
I mean-
maybe it is a B-man situation.
I mean, if it is a swamp thing, we could be dealing with the whole DC universe that we're up against here.
It's like playing Injustice.
For God forbid Superman shows up, we don't have a chance. Anyway,
Barry
is the
says-
sun about to come up right
so at
now?
least Archibald knows how to keep control of a room. Jesus.
Barry says, "Yeah, I think I can rule out that I was beaten up by Batman."
Shut your damn
You
mouth.
cannot say it.
Well, I mean,
We've
have
gone
you
over
ever
this.
read issue 51, though?
Barry sits up a little bit in
which
his couch
he
and
goes
says,
inside of the swamp thing.
Barry sits up a little bit in his couch and says,
Like a dun-dun.
I'd appreciate you minding your tone. Augustine,
Oh,
was it?
shit. Watch out, plant guy. Here he comes.
I do know I could whoop a Tremere's ass.
You could.
well,
It's super
Is that
easy.
before you jump in a well, or...
Even
I hold-
with one hand tied Well, wherever my one hand is at the moment.
I hold up Mama's cub and kind of like with my face just like, I dare you.
Barry turns away and looks like he's trying to hold back tears.
So aggro. Are you gonna stab it with your knives?
No. We're gonna feed it tomatoes like a good mom.
That's not what bears eat.
Bears eat fish. You have to fish.
Yeah, when you're a hammer, everything's a nail, right? Plants will fix it.
About what time is it in game right now? Do we have a sunrise to beat?
It is about 4:30ish, and sunrise is about 6:50.
That seemed very exact. Are you looking at the actual sunrise now?
The actual sunrise is 6:51 on this date. So I actually rounded for the sake of not freaking you out with my...
You don't have to round around
my
me.
precision.
I love numbers. I love data.
Well.
All right, so Barry, Elizabeth, Ray, Jade, other NPC.
We have to address everybody by name.
Every NPC.
Jeffrey. Yeah.
Jeffrey. What do you say we regroup, get some sleep, tomorrow we go, I don't know, Batman hunting?
What are we doing? What is the plan?
It's simple. We kill the Batman.
Do we just go there? What? Do you think we need to bring anything special? I mean, this does not seem like something we've run into before.
Oh, so that's what I'm saying is I say we round everybody up. We meet tomorrow night at Delacroix Manor. We formulate a plan of attack and we go get this thing.
I find that to be an agreeable course of action.
Whatever you say, boss.
Elizabeth...
Yes, my plan sounds good.
Elizabeth says, I was hoping you might be able to do something for us also. Since I've expended a great deal of blood tonight to assist you, I was hoping you could do me a favor. Those of us who live here rarely leave, and we need some items picked up from a shop called Quarter Moon Occult Books and Curiosities. They're, of course, quite closed by now, but when you wake tomorrow and have a moment, text me, and I'd like to send you a short shopping list, and you can fetch some supplies for the chantry. They close at 10 o'clock, so you'd have a little bit of time to do this. This isn't an urgent errand, so you can put this off for a few days if you think that attending to this swamp thing creature demands your immediate attention.
It's probably a little more pressing.
I thought we were going with Batman now. Is it Swamp Thing or Batman?
Swamp Man?
Swamp Thing would be more apt for its look. So what is this? So the Quarter Moon something?
It's called the Quarter Moon Occult Books and Curiosities.
What from such venue should we procure for you? What do you want us to pick up?
My dear Augustine, have you had a stroke recently?
He just said it. That second sentence, he just said like a normal person.
Yeah, I think that's why she got confused.
That was neat.
So, whoa.
I think the what from at the beginning is what threw me off. He Yoda'd up that sentence.
We'll do this when we do this, but sure, just let us know what you want.
I have a list to send you, some sage, a book, some dowsing rods, some crow's blood, just a few things. That
As they
have
list
there.
things off, I make eye contact with Jade. I'm like, see, they're into some weird shit. I try to tell you.
Sort of, not a prize. Is this some sort of ritual?
Yeah, you're prying, all right.
Excava, they're Tremere. It's like their whole
Yeah,
deal.
they don't like that.
They just do the rituals.
And they don't talk about them. Is there other thing that they don't do?
No, we're making gift bags for a baby shower. And she smiles and kind of taps Excavo in a friendly manner. Anyway.
Just got handled.
This is awkward.
Jeffrey says, if you are all leaving, would anyone mind helping me carry some of this equipment back to my car?
Yeah, sure, boss. Point me at it.
Cool. And he has a DJ booth set up. It has lights. It has a bunch of sound equipment. He says,
Oh, I've done this before.
he says, yeah, I can grab the IG88. If you can grab the Forlom set, someone else can get the TI-85.
Did you get some help with this list from somebody?
That sounds like a calculator, that last one.
I have a pair of THX 1138s right there that probably need like 2 people to each of them.
I would like to carry as much as I can, which I think is an insane amount.
Mixer.
I would like to try to balance something preposterously precarious. I want to carry all of his equipment at one time.
I feel like
One
you should have
trip.
a strength check because you're definitely carrying one of those old graphing calculators, and they weigh a metric fuck
Yeah, I
ton.
heard TI-85 in there. I want to pick up. I want to try to carry all of it if I can, but as much as possible.
Jeffrey says, I need a really strong person to pick up each of these boofer woofers. See, they're endorsed by Brett Kavanaugh, so they're real expensive.
PJ and the Squeeze like this one?
This is so timely.
So
A classic story.
So we-
Classic tale.
he opens up the door for you, and you can tell why he needs help, because he kind of struggles to open up and hold the door with his little noodly arms.
Yeah,
And
I am just trying to impress this guy as much as possible, as is my want. I am just trying to carry an absurd amount of equipment in one trip.
You impress him. He goes, whoa, mission accomplished.
Nailed it.
And you could see Jeffrey's just making references to his equipment and trying to mention upcoming dates at every opportunity, just trying to work his DJing
Darby's
career.
giving him nothing.
In the
Isn't picking up on this at all. Is only concentrating on carrying the heavy stuff and doing the job, and has no idea that this guy is like fronting his DJ thing or what the polite thing to say would be to feign interest. Just really giving him nothing.
Okay, he looks quite disappointed, and he says, before all of you go into battle, I could do a thing that helps bolster your courage, maybe, so you don't get
Hey,
scared
I'm
of
not
music.
into that kind of thing, boss. Like, I appreciate
Okay.
the offer
Oh,
and whatever
okay.
you're into, that's cool, but like, it's not for me, Chief.
Okay, I have
I'll
flyers
do it.
for Prince Alvins.
Yeah, Let's do it.
You're interested in my music?
100%. I love supporting local artists.
You're really interested in my music?
Darby
Hey,
feels so good about declining.
I put my arm around him. I say, "You're our harpy, buddy."
I'm just waiting for Graham to have already had a track prepared for this.
There is not. No. There's not a track prepared for it.
I would love to buy it. I would love to buy a tasty MP3 from you.
Oh, no. Music can only be experienced in person with a guide. See,
I thought you were gonna say with a guy.
with a dude, with a buddy,
Mm-hmm.
in a...
Darby's just nodding like he sniffed this out from a mile away.
For instance, there's a service that I provide for Elizabeth every now and then with my music. She wants to keep in touch with her humanity, so I perform a ritual with her with my music that helps her feel guilt and sorrow for the things that she's done. This is just an example of what music can do for our spirits. She says that this ritual helps keep her heart from turning cold. Any virtue that you find yourself lacking can be inspired by meditating on properly inspirational music. And I help create and prepare this music and guide people through experiences with this music. The inhumane and the cowards and those lacking self-control can all be their best selves with the right song in their hearts. And you take this to mean that the Toreador DJ, Jeffrey Lamprey, can do something that can temporarily raise the virtues on your character sheets, potentially making it easier to avoid frenzy, rot shrek, and the loss of humanity.
Well, Ray, that was a very in-depth explanation. We all know what a bard is, but thank you. Yeah, well, definitely take you up tomorrow.
Can I ask you a question about your concert? Is there any audience participation or vomiting involved in the ceremony at all?
The virtue enhancement rituals that I can do with people?
Yeah.
Well,
tell me the details there. How much vomit, blood ratio are you talking? Because I got to say, my recent experience has been very negative.
you are encouraged to vomit if that's how you express your emotions, but I've never seen anyone vomit. Audience participation, I mean, it's a guided meditative thing, but I don't really know what you're asking.
So Darby very interested in raising his self-control because he's realizing now, regretfully, that he may have murdered a beloved bear. So yeah, but not really interested in the methodology. So I don't know. This may be tricky to overcome for him, but yeah.
If everyone is on their way out, Elizabeth also takes Augustine aside and mentions to him, Augustine, we mentioned before you teaching the green path while you were here. Is this something that you would be willing to spend time on?
Permitting it is of greater value than the time invested. I have these dirty hippies who wish me to assist them in their endeavors in magnifying their current plans. And
What's in it for you, boss?
Well,
seems lucrative to me.
If you would teach me the green path, I would gladly give you a major boon per level of the green path, and perhaps that could be exchanged as an even trade if you would like to learn another path of thaumaturgy that I could teach you, or that Leslie could teach you.
Do you independently teach two separate paths of thaumaturgy?
Oh, I know several paths of thaumaturgy, as does Leslie.
That sounds much more lucrative than a bunch of hippies selling moldy well water. Suffice to say, you have my interest.
Well, consider it. The offer is on the table.
And the table is made of wood.
Ha ha ha. Yes, it is.
Ha ha ha. Green path jokes. All that and more in my masterclass.
I kind of cut in at this point. I said, okay, I heard we're doing kind of trade school lectures. And Elizabeth, what could you maybe offer for a little bit of dialectical materialism?
I am just no humor. As soon as Archibald pokes in, I just deadpan the stare of doom, just absolute doom at him.
This is my thing.
I could do 2 hours up front on the labor theory of value, no cost you, just so you could dip your toes in, see what you're getting.
I'll have to give it some thought. That's not where my priorities are. I do welcome any opportunity to further the education of our revenants. I am concerned, though, that such subject matter might lead to...
Elizabeth, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think you want me helping your revenants to seize the means of production, if you know what I mean.
So we are in agreement. Okay.
What is this?
I just realized that Archibald hadn't said any Marxist stuff for 5 episodes, so I thought I had to throw something in there real quick.
You've met your quota.
Yeah, there. That's for the last 3 episodes or so.
Quotas are very on brand.
That tracks.
Okay, I know this is a 1-year plan for new Cammack, but what are we going to do for
what's our 5-year plan? Yeah.
Is this a business?
Suffice it to say, I will keep it on the table. I will be reaching out to you as soon as we get settled in, so to speak.
Okay, please do. Because I would hate for you to be consumed by a swamp thing / Batman in the woods, and for all of your knowledge to be lost with you.
Duly noted.
Sir, I actually am interested in signing up for your class.
Which one? Which one?
Not you.
My jaw
Not you,
has
plant
dropped.
guy.
Oh, I thought you meant Augustine too.
I thought you meant Augustine.
Dismiss. No thanks. I drop that in a heartbeat.
Dismissed.
Darby, you have interest in tomato fucking
No, I'm
101?
talking to you. Why would I ever call you sir? Jesus. No. Archibald, the prince, my liege lord.
Darby, anytime. It doesn't even need to be class. I'll talk to you about this anytime.
Well, it wasn't just.
He talks about it all the time.
It wasn't just your good ideas and all that. You seem to appreciate strength, and I feel like in my service to you, that's what I offer. And I was hoping that maybe you could give me some lessons in how to be stronger.
Absolutely.
For the city.
Like, you want to learn, like, potence?
I do. I want
You
to
got
learn
it.
more.
You got it.
This is very threatening. Put that in a university essay. I want to learn more.
What's that message for? Is this supposed to be a
don't
secret
know.
message to Graham?
Oh, is there something in the chat?
Is that secret?
Oh,
Augustine, what have
I
you
never
done?
look at the chat, so
I can't believe you've done this.
That's what our dice rolls are.
I am decently alert. I have 3 dots in alertness.
He was just talking to you. Like
say you can say these things out loud.
Yeah,
I
am okay at not letting Darby know things that I know. It's fine. I can do that.
You strike me as a trustworthy player. So yeah, for the audience, how aware of his surroundings is Darby, and how difficult would it be for me to like take some of the weeds that I had just filled my pockets with, and take some of those seeds and just like slip them into his pocket for later?
This is a thing that is particularly difficult to do to Darby, I would think. I have 4 wits and 3 alertness, so I think I am low on perception. So I don't know how that would play in. I am very weak on perception, but I have high alertness.
I believe this would be an opposed roll. It would be Augustine's dexterity plus stealth versus Darby's perception plus alertness.
I mean, yeah, I botched my opposition, so I feel like you're gonna do pretty good here.
you just get one success and the
Darby's roll to detect the reverse pickpocketing was botched.
Was a botch. Yep.
But how was Augustine's role to do it?
I'm sure. I don't know if it matters. I think you just have accomplished. You would have to roll so bad to fail. Yeah, you did it. Whatever you wanted to do, you did it. I did not notice. I have lots of weed dandelion seeds in my pocket or whatever.
So Augustine just stealthily put marijuana seeds into
No,
Darby's.
No,
like weeds.
Yeah, like itchy, undesirable plant seeds in his pocket.
Oh, weed seeds, as in the seed
I
of
was
weeds.
going to ask weed
Yes.
or weeds.
I think he's going for like an irritant response, like he's trying to make me itch or something. I'm not sure what his objective is.
Okay.
That is absolutely what I'm up to, and
I do not think that vampires have the skin irritation response, the reactant to pathogens that you're hoping for here, the inflammation. But I don't know. We'll let a GM rule on that.
I'm just gonna kind of okay. So back in character.
Is Darby allergic to any plants?
I don't think you have allergies.
Was that Augustine's intention to make Darby itchy?
No. Well, now that the seeds are in his pants, back in character.
Is this sort of like
Darby,
a long game
sir,
attempt
do you
to like?
truly mean such disrespect of an esteemed Green Path Tremere, the illustrious unicorn that is the Green Path.
Oh,
Do you mean
I have
this
I
disrespect?
have a question.
Just because I called you
Elizabeth have
plant
seen
guy,
this.
what's your deal?
Speed of seasons passing on the seeds in his pockets.
Would Elizabeth have seen this? Is she watching this?
Yeah, so you're doing your incantations, you're doing your ritualistic Tremere magic at me in the Tremere Chantry in front of the Tremere
In front of him.
clan leader.
I'm not doing it at you. I'm doing it at the seeds in your pockets.
Well,
In
sure,
front of the
sure.
Magister.
Okay, here's
See, I don't have to do anything. I can just let it happen.
Same.
Here is the thing, though. Andy, I think, forgot this, but Augustine would know it. You have to touch the plant to use Speed the Seasons Passing.
So do I just like...
Put your hand on his pocket.
Yeah, like as soon as I've successfully snuck these seeds in, I just...
I mean, yeah,
You
look,
crusty
it was
butt
3
pocket.
successes versus a botch. So I
Do-
think if he wants to like have a lingering hand in the pocket situation that I don't notice. I mean, I'm preoccupied
You just start.
with
You just feel
googly
the
eyes
warm
at the
in your
prince,
pocket. You don't know why.
thinking that
Yeah,
I'm gonna
okay,
get
I'll-
strunk.
Because this is
This has gone off the rails.
because this is a trivial application of the power, we'll say, yeah, he gets away with this. If it were more story consequential,
Let us see if he lives long enough to.
But no, but we
complete
do
it.
have to see how effective
He
his
looks like
thaumaturgy
he is
was.
running out of air.
So he has multiple rolls for the effectiveness of his actual spell. So we'll see how this goes.
yep. Yep, we're doing this. We're taking time to do this. So, willpower roll. Roll.
And again, he's doing all of this stuff like in front of his like clan boss after just like negotiating. The harpy's in the room, and he's just like doing this. Why not just stab me with your blades?
It's more of a demonstration of power, friend.
So I just like me out of character, Steve. Want to ask you, Andy, what do you think is going to happen here? Like, how do you envision this playing out, possibly to your advantage? Like, what are you hoping to? Because I would love to know. Because me, Steve, am fascinated. Because Darby is an absolute loose cannon monster, and why would you inadvertently try to like set him off? Like, what do you think is fitting to go down if you use your creepy plant magic?
I see there are two opposite bad outcomes. One is it pisses him off so bad he frenzies. The other is I inadvertently replace
Surprise
all of...
Pikachu face. Yeah, like you've ever seen that before.
The alternative worst case scenario outcome is I grow the plants so well they actually replace your pants and you just get like a dope ass tweed pair of trousers. Best case scenario,
That would be a lot of successes, I think, to just
To
just
weed
synthesize some pants. That would be pretty amazing display of skill. I would be extremely impressed. I will set that. How many dice do you get to roll on this?
So
I
that
think
weed
that's-
tweed.
for me the best outcome would be the absolute dishevelment and utter like cracking of your braggadocio nature and like kind of making you stumble
Yeah,
on your
you're trying
own
to like put a
confidence.
clown suit on me with your weed pants.
Yeah.
Augustine,
So-
willpower roll, difficulty 5.
So 1 dice for each point of willpower?
Yes.
Okay. 5d10, difficulty 5.
I see a 10. I see a 1.
So I have 2 successes.
Yes. Intelligence plus occult roll, and the number of successes determines how much it grows.
4 successes. 1 botch. So 3 successes.
Yeah.
It becomes a quite nearly full-grown plant. Each of the seeds does.
Cool.
Okay, so yeah, my pants are full of weeds now. I think you've successfully. I mean, has he done damage, structural damage to the plants? Did it ruin the pockets, or did they like? Explain to me like the effect that I've experienced, and I will try to determine
narrate what
how
we
I
see.
react. Yeah.
The weed are going to be nettles, but they magically like wiggle through. You see them begin to protrude from the tops of your pockets, and the various pokey ends start protruding from the outside of your pants, which also means on the inside they're poking a little bit into your leg.
This pushes Darby's wallet and keys and cell phone out of his pants.
And to the floor, yes.
Causing no damage to his cell phone.
That's pretty much the magnitude of what I've just accomplished, but the satisfaction on my face is very visual. I just kind of give you like this smug, ha ha, that'll teach you.
Darby, did that teach you?
Wow. I think this has just gone on to reinforce every preconception that Darby had about Augustine. He's just like, this is what you got, plant guy? Oh, you planted me real good. You planted my wallet right onto the ground. Oh no! You're gonna grow some grass around me? Like, I'm gonna grow some grass over your corpse. If you fuck with me again with your magic, I will end you.
I am entirely unfazed by that whole tirade, just like completely basking in the self-satisfaction of having pulled one over on barbecue sauce.
I feel like Darby doesn't feel as if he has pulled one. I like, you may feel triumphant. Darby is so, like, I think disdainful of your plant magic that he's just like, okay, you got me.
Elizabeth takes Augustine aside. She kind of holds his arm and says, "May I speak with you in the other room, please?"
Indeed.
Ooh.
And
Oh, teacher's got to take him away.
I'd like to believe Darby did that.
Darby
out
did
loud.
that in character. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Darby did
Wait.
that.
I would
Wait a minute.
think so.
Wouldn't Darby be super jealous that she's taking him aside?
What, the
That's
hot woman
interesting.
is
No, I
taking
think
him
he
aside?
knows.
Is
I
that
think
what
he
you
knows
mean?
that she's in trouble. Like, Darby knows that
Another
Tremere
one.
aren't supposed to do
Okay.
that stuff in front of people, and that Augustine has
Congratulations,
fucked
you
up.
played
So
yourself.
I think Darby knows that he's in trouble and is reacting appropriately.
While these guys are pranking each other, I'm still just like helping DJ carry his shit.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like,
like
we need
left-
to
I
get
thought I,
these
like,
done.
nailed
The
that.
show's over.
And I'm like, I'm just like groaning about it, even though like I effortlessly lift up with my great potence, like the heaviest shit that Darby was struggling with, just like in one go. I just
I
go
carry
for
one
it.
mixer at a time.
To wrap
No
that
problem.
up, Jeffrey has finished loading his van and has left. Elizabeth, making sure that she's still within view of Darby, looks back at Darby and then holds the back of Augustine's head and just starts making out with him. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Sorry. I just thought it'd
Nightmare.
be fun.
That
No.
would be just my
was
world
real.
shattering. Oh man, I can't imagine
Elizabeth-
Darby's reaction.
Elizabeth
to
says, in the other room, away from the other characters where no one can hear, she says, "Excuse me, what was that? Could you explain what just happened there?"
Darby is quite the thorn in my side. Haha, more Green Path jokes. We have been squabbling since we've met, and we're trying to establish a power dynamic, so to speak.
Yeah. Okay, I am not your superior. And you clearly come from a different culture and a different chantry than this. But here and in every other chantry where I studied, we do not display our powers openly and we do not use them trivially. We consider it the fastest way for those outside of our clan to stop respecting and stop fearing us. We consider it the best way for other people to trivialize us.
Darby, you are not hearing this.
Oh, I know. I'm just reacting.
Oh, I sure wish he was.
Duly noted.
It would be very satisfying if I was here.
When you came here, I saw that you have mastered a thaumaturgical path, as have the rest of us in this house, and because of that, I automatically gave you respect. You have also dedicated yourself to a rare path. Not many people do that. you've dedicated yourself to an esoteric path without obvious applications. Usually one would do this because they have a genuine passion for the art, not because they want to be popular or not because they seek power and fame, but because they appreciate study and furthering, the discipline. What I saw tonight gives me pause, and it makes me worry that if you learned additional thaumaturgy here in this chantry, that you would use it foolishly, and that your use of what you learn here might weaken our clan as a whole.
While I understand your culture,
I'm lowering my voice so the others cannot hear us. I'm doing that to help preserve. But please.
Well, I understand your cultured nuances.
Yikes, that's threatening.
It will try to adhere to your wishes as I am outside of my traditional environment. I do find myself in the firm belief that any art without application is an exercise in folly. So that lends me to be a little more liberal in its use, though I will concede and respect your wishes and the general culture that we find ourselves housed in. I do appreciate your insight and discretion in informing me of such things.
To the point, I will need to report this to Regent Lane, and I believe he will be in agreement with me that if you were to learn any thaumaturgy using the resources in this chantry, either paths or rituals, you will need to adhere to our policies of not using your powers in this city frivolously and using them very judiciously if it's in front of people outside of this clan. It is the general policy, I thought, agreed to by everyone in our clan, that people should generally not know what we are capable of, so that in their imaginations we are perhaps mysterious and all-powerful. The less that we do in front of them, the easier it is to maintain this air of mystery and the assumption of great power. If you could use your powers much more judiciously, it would help us.
I can agree to all of those terms on the condition that it goes unreported. I would think that it'd be fair that we are in the chantry, in the privacy, and I am only demonstrating said powers in the company of people that I am clearly forced to be with, who are very much in the know on the masquerade. I think I can compromise and absolutely adhere to your wishes, but I don't think anybody else needs to know.
It wasn't exactly private. There were 6 non-Tremere in that room. And a bear.
Fuck a duck. I'm actually at a loss for how to respond to that. I'm trying to being in character.
Well, I am very glad to have been able to help rouse our friend Barry, and I hope the night finds you well. Again, please contact me when you are ready to run that errand for me. I will consider our debt paid. Normally, expending a tremendous amount of blood and raising someone from torpor would not be equivalent to running an errand and picking up some boots, but I did see that our prince expended some of his own blood, so I will recognize that as being part of your sacrifice, you collectively. So yes, thank you for stopping by.
Certainly, my friend. And thank you for your gracious hospitality. Now, you'll forgive me for this display. It has nothing to do with our bearings in reality, but seeing as my endeavor into rousing my compatriot with the previously demonstrated means was unsuccessful, I have to resort to other matters. And I turn and walk back into the room and just kind of wipe off imaginary saliva from my face, oh, yeah, that was great smooching.
I'm not sure if Darby believes any of that. But you come out and Darby's made like a whistle out of the weed thistles. Like he's just enjoying. He's like, blowing his little. He's like got little contraptions that he's made. He's got like a little a weave of a basket that he made out of it. Like he's just really turned lemons into lemonade with the weeds.
Elizabeth goes off somewhere else in the Chantry and isn't present to dispute your version of events.
Totally happened.
Whatever, Hobbs.
Remaining in the parlor is the four of you and Jade and Barry.
Jade, where are you going to spend your days now? You got something figured out?
Well, I have a room in Delacroix Manor. Am I not allowed to stay there anymore?
Of course you are, Jade.
Of course. I just wanted to make sure you had accommodations that were going to be suitable for your new hours that you'll be keeping.
In my Daedric memory, do I know that we have, are there excess rooms in the manor?
Eidetic?
It is a very large manor.
We can say photographic. No one knows the word eidetic. That's a dumb word.
That's a made up word.
Yeah, they're extra guest rooms in the manor.
Barry, my good man, there is also room for you as well. You clearly appear to be part of this endeavor, and we will require your assistance going forward. Would you care to reside with us, that our forces may not be divided geographically?
Barry says, I got a place. I mean, I could crash with you if we're having a little powwow to discuss strategy. But I do have a place. I live here. I got a job here and everything. I got calling sick for obvious reasons. But yeah.
You been calling in sick for the last 6 weeks? You been gone, boss?
Shit. Oh.
It has been a good amount of time.
Well, fuck.
I don't know if you have that job anymore.
I gotta come up with a damn good excuse.
We have plenty
Barry.
The financial
Have you
support.
already had the COVID? Because I think we could probably get you 2 weeks on that one.
2 extra weeks on top of 6 weeks.
Yeah, Barry, you might consider checking into some of your affairs if you need to come by the manor.
I do think there's some, some hustle, some urgency on getting that Swamp Thing Batman guy, but I also think that letting Barry, who's been in a well for a better part of 2 months, get control of his life is a good thing to do, and attacking tonight or tomorrow night versus the night after might not make that big of a difference.
You're the boss here. Do you guys want me to crash with you up in Delacroix's fancy manor? It's a nice place. I wouldn't mind doing that. You guys would just have to give me a ride back to. I parked near the hippie camp, just on the side of the road. You'd have to give me a ride back to my truck.
Just go ahead and meet us tomorrow night. I mean, we'll give you a ride and then.
Okay, yeah, no,
take care of stuff.
Just give me a call. I'll meet you up wherever.
Cool. Sounds good. Nice to meet you, boss.
I mean, you'd have to could you give me a ride back to my truck?
No.
Yeah, we're doing
that. Ship has sailed.
We're in the process of doing it right now.
Cool.
Darby, you know what that means.
I know. Toss me the keys.
I don't want to get an Uber, with old Stumpy.
Arm. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you should definitely get that checked out.
Is there not a way to reattach?
Let me ask you something. What's the fastest you've ever gone across town?
What is there to attach?
I think he went faster on our way here.
Well, maybe when you find that thing, you could ask it for my arm back.
Hey, when we find that thing.
Could be a way to put it back on.
It has a mouth, but not a face.
All right, so everyone heads over to the hippie camp, drops off Barry at his truck, and then heads back to Delacroix Manor.
And I think that's it.
All right, and then everyone goes to sleep. Nothing else. All right, and that is the end of the session.
Oh, I do want to ask one thing. Can I give a nice little cliffhanger thingy? Oh wait, no, never mind. I don't think it would be in character.
I love a good cliffy.
That's worse than a cliffhanger.
It's an anti-cliffhanger.
Okay. Can
I
talk?
ask one thing?
Wait, can I talk to the three of them in private, in super private, without Jade around? Guys, I don't think we're in any shape to make more enemies for ourselves. I think we should tell Jade the truth.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a difficult. That's gonna be a difficult, dramatic conversation.
There would be no reason for us to.
I feel like Feather has to say like 2 more words to her, and then she's gonna be asking a lot of questions.
I think we should let her have another dose of my blood first, and then I'll be able to keep her emotions in check in case she gets a little upset. Once she's had 2, she's gonna be pliable.
Is anyone spending any experience points?
I am not, but I'm curious. So our next session, are we picking up the immediate day after?
Yes. I mean, unless if something
Or
happens while you're...
Then maybe there's a nightmare.
What are the odds that'll happen?
I'm trying to find an opportunity at some point in preparation to hunt this thingy dude to make a splinter servant and to grow some of these seeds into saplings so that I have
stuff to do.
Like, yeah, at this point,
I feel like I got stuff to do.
At this point, I have tasks that I need to accomplish in prep for.
You're
this
growing
monster hunt.
saplings?
Yeah, so that
He
they're
wants
like
to build a
already
garden.
like a small but reasonable size to start off with, and I can have them in hand and like apply them to things quicker. It would be a preparatory thing that I would be doing, as well as making a splinter servant.
Yeah, I mean, you can designate a day an off day.
Yeah, I mean, I think just for the narrative, a lot of our stuff on our character sheet involves things that we can't necessarily do during the game. Like, I still want to have that scene with Jade that not everybody would be around for. So I'm not sure what your intended pace is in terms of...
I want to teach some night classes at the local community college, and that's not going to make for riveting sessions.
And we gotta
I need to
decide
start
what,
gathering
what
technology to get it set up.
potence lessons
I need
look
to
like.
get my base.
Yeah, we can do a little strength training.
So do we want to say that like
Is this actually? I'm sorry, Andy. Is this actually viable? Because he does not know more potence than me, but it is in clan for him. So I'm not sure. Is he allowed to be a teacher or not?
I don't think that can work. I think that for an out of clan discipline, you need someone who has that level to teach you that level.
All right. Well, we might need to retcon that a little bit then. Maybe the agreement was for Archibald to help me find a teacher instead of him to do it himself.
And that's fine. If you guys were confused about it, like even in character. Okay, so
Darby very much might not know, so that we could have an unfortunate learning experience where we realize that we have the same amount of strength and that we each need to find a teacher.
So, any ideas right now of what you guys think that you're going to be doing in the next session?
I feel like I want to head to that sewer, because that's another big thread, and I feel like it has a connection to Swamp Thing. I want to get the surveillance thing, yeah. Because maybe they have footage of Swamp Thing and we can study it.
Use the surveillance
Like
thing to
Bigfoot.
investigate, and then set up a base of operations in the sewers and start setting out against Swamp Thing. I think that is our goal for the next
It's probably gonna be a bunch of old technology though, so I'm kind of pessimistic about it, but I do need to go down there.
I don't know. The rumors we've heard is that it's pretty powerful, so you might be able to make something out of it.
All right. It's going to be fun.
See you guys next week.
Okay.
yeah, good game, guys.
Yep, see y'all.
Till next time.
Bye.
Later.